Brothers and sisters, welcome back to our lovely channel called the Golden Sense Media. And today, on the table, there is an agenda of the role of youth in leadership and in promoting democracy. Uh, all of you, we know that Africa is we can say that Africa is the youngest continent, having 60% of the population of Africa is the youth under the age of 20, is according to the Deloitte survey of 2016. My country, Tanzania, is among of the country having the big number of youths. According to that statistics, it showed that 60% of the youth of Tanzania having the age of 17.7 years. That is a median age. The leading country to have a big number of youth in Africa, according to that statistics, is Niger, when it have something like 15.44. That is the average of the 60% of the population of that country. Suffice to say that apart from the resources we have, the opportunities we have in Africa, uh, it is enough to say that this big number of the young population we have is also another it's also another important opportunities to consider ourselves at the youth when we can end these issues of uh, we can take even the leadership of our countries if we issues of having a rigging election and each and everything cannot be there. That is the truth of the matter. But now we are talking about leadership and democracy and many things. What I need to assure you, leadership is something very, 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 very complicated. It's very complicated because nowadays we have many people are calling them leaders, but the reality they are not real leaders and they don't know anything about the so-called leadership. Most of the people we are calling leaders are professional manipulators, and they are, I can call them as deal makers. I was invited one day to visit a leadership symposium, uh, something to wonder the people who prepared that symposium, uh, they are not leaders, and the guest speakers or those delegates also were not leaders, but they were trying to teach us how to be like a leader, how a leader is look like something which was like a comedy. Now, what I'm trying to say here, leadership is coming from let's say leadership is made up with a lot of things, but it starts of what is in your head, what you are feeding our brain, the brain of our youth. It decides the kind of the leader our youth are going to be in the future. Now, this is the area we need to deal with it very careful when we are preparing our leader, when we are preparing the youth to take the baton to be leaders. Number one is about what we are feeding them, and what we are feeding them is found in the educational curriculum. All of us, we know that in Africa now, we are using curriculums of different parts, Cambridge and those stuffs. Okay, but we have a secondary education system, say that there is no one size can fix all. What is good in the United States or in Britain cannot be good for in Africa. Okay, there are there are some things that you can cope and can be used here, but not 100%. We need as Africans to introduce the kind of education we want, the curriculum we want, but we cannot introduce just only with morality. And there is no we don't have our curriculum if we don't have any ideology and the taboos. Now, insisting on our morality because and the so-called the way we are the way we education can turn into be a danger to a society. Uh, there was a big kingdom. It's not a kingdom. Is we can call it empire. All of us we know that Rome was the strongest empire in the world. But why Rome collapsed? Rome collapsed not because in Rome Empire they don't have people who are educated or intellectual. There were intellectual people in Rome, but Rome lacks morality. This is what make the Rome to collapse. There was no army rise and be against the Rome. No, no. It's just the lack of morality. That's why made Rome to start to divide themselves. When we are talking about Rome, we are talking about those Italy, Belgium, French, Portugal, and many countries. Many countries, Spain included. Yeah. Now it's a matter of them to lack morality. That's why they were corrupt. Now, in this point, we need to agree that is leader. But what makes a use to be a good leader is education plus morality. Education plus morality. As a country, as a continent, we're supposed to have what to do as Africans. Now, there is one scenario saying that a leader can be made and a leader can be born. You can be born as a leader or the environment to shape you to be a leader. I agree with the two theories. I agree with the two theories that you can be born with a gift of being a leader, but you also can be made. The people who are born as leaders are used, and the people who are made to be leaders are also used. But the world of today have the qualifications that need you to have it so as to call you a leader, or need you to have it so as to give you a position to take authority of being in a position of a leader. And those qualifications we are getting them from schools. Now, according to the world of today, there's no way you can say that you are born and being a leader without without having education. You cannot have leadership without education. And education, I'm trying to mean here, is the skills. That is the qualification of the word. A word to recognize you as a reader, you need to have the qualification that was mentioned. If you want to be a manager, you will get the guidelines that in a company a manager is supposed to have whether bachelor degree or 2 degrees. Those are the qualification made by the world. Now there is no way in these days. Uh, on this in this 21st century to be led by a person a P4 a P4 a P4 graduate because of him having that gift of leadership only without having the qualification needed by the world. What we need to accept those gifts of leadership, the talents in the leadership industry is just extra, is just
extra 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 things and to do better. But we need to invest in the so-called education, in the so-called morality. Uh, and if we miss on education that is going together with morality, we are not going to escape the trap that even Rome enter. We are not very wise, more than those wise, more than the Rome Empire. Uh, Without morality, we can produce corrupt people. Do you know, most of the thief of today are elites, these educated people. Most of the robbers, most of the dictators of today in Africa are educated. Uh, they're educated, but they don't have the so-called morality. And morality is something that can add value. Okay, we need to have knowledge, what, but knowledge without morality and humanity, it can bring problem to that. That's why even the scientists, an immoral scientist, can create a pills that can destroy the baby in the womb of immorality we are talking about. That's now immorality. Now, it is not only education. Okay, we insist on education, but education which don't be careful. These are victims of power, uh, leaders who are they are used, but they can be used. They can be leaders who threaten people. This now are the one I'm calling them professional manipulator who have power, not to empower the people. This use we are going to leaders, not politicians. Do you know politician? You are thinking about the next election, and not next generation, not next heritage, and not destiny. For them, they are thinking about for them to continue owning that. If we miss on what we are feeding at the head of our youth, it means we are going to destroy each other. Guys, don't make the head of our youth to be the dumping site of useless uses materials uh, that we are if we miss, and if we continue with the same path we choose, it means we are going to destroy. Have a good day.